So I've played a lot of games during the last 2 years for the Nintendo Switch, and I have not gone in with lower expectations than this one, American Ninja Warrior Challenge on the Nintendo Switch. But let's be open-minded, let's be optimistic today. Will you feel like a ninja after playing this? Will you feel like a warrior? Will you walk away noticing a burn in the arms and the legs just from watching these characters show their strength as you hammer down on that controller? I don't think so. But I'm also ready to be surprised and proven wrong. Let's jump in and find out. So before we get started today, thanks for checking out the video. Hit subscribe, like and comment below for all your latest reviews and news for the Switch, the Xbox and of course the PS4. But with that, it's time to become a champion today. Releasing on the Switch, the PS4 and the Xbox One, American Ninja Warrior cuts no corners in cashing in on its name, releasing on pretty much everything. Today, as I said, we're looking at the Switch version. Let's start with graphics. And first of all, what can I say? Awful. I mean, this thing is really bad. All of the character models, first of all, look like Barbie and Ken dolls, from the characters to the presenters themselves, Matt and Akbar. Expressions, emotions, don't be silly. These are literally animated dolls running across your screen. When it comes to the animations, equally terrible. They've gone for a cartoony vibe, which is understandable for the target audience, but it does very little to add to the experience, honestly. Because of this, the movements, they're just not natural, and it takes away from some of these crazy feats these superhumans pull off on a weekly basis. It's just simply all very rigid. Now when it comes to the courses, we have the key elements here, I'll give them that. There's, well, the obstacles. They're instantly recognizable. The camera angles, it switches things up just to provide a kind of steady panning camera. And then it's got the basics of what you would expect here, you know, I mean, some gameplay. Unfortunately though, I've seen Xbox 360 games in the past with more detail and texture work than this. I'm specifically here talking about Doritos Crash Course from 2010, a free game compared to this $40 cash-in, which was the same idea but implemented better somehow. The texture work here is just laughable. Crowds, they have minimal animation. We've got just repeating character models. Let's say there's 25 audience members at one time as you progress. At least 10 of those are going to be doubles of someone else in the crowd. The padding under your feet on the course, the general course construction are just solid colours with zero response to character movements. The water below you is probably the worst. It's something out of the 90s, where it's literally still, completely still, except for a split-second splash. And the effect plays over the top, it's not even part of the environment. Akbar and Matt presenting is the epitome of creepy here. Expect to hear faces, but mouth movement is asking way too much. These are the smiling ventriloquist dolls of nightmares. I will say at least they kind of got the TV presentation right in places. The menus are sort of suitably epic, showing characters frozen in time in action. The logo pans across the screen during loading. We get the occasional fireworks. Oh, and actually there's a few lame celebrations that you can control that would be disappointing in most games, but here they come off as absolute moments of genius compared to the rest of the graphical power on display. Then finally popping. Character's hair and outfit loads in after just to really make this peak disaster. The camera angles take such an angle where you can't see the next obstacle coming up, so you can't pre-plan. Okay, enough complaining. You know what? Maybe I'm being too harsh today. Graphics, they're not everything. Gameplay, that truly decides the game. I had a small hope this one might be an action-orientated version of track and field, you know, the depth of a puddle, but at least entertaining. I used to love the addictive nature of that game and broke so many damn controllers, but I will tell you now, nope, not here, not this one. This is just quick time offense, essentially non-stop. You move the character, you reach an obstacle, and you push the buttons on the screen. Sounds simple, but it's not, because it's broken. First, the frame rate. How can I time something when the frame rate drops? The timing on screen, it gives you no real idea when to hit. On multiple occasions, button presses just didn't register. And I was so close to smashing my Switch Joy-Cons at points that I did have to walk away from this one on a number of occasions. That's literally all of the gameplay except for celebrations, where you press the D-pad and we get a couple of canned responses. This in turn builds up stamina, which you need to make it through the course. You know, absolutely essential to complete a run, but it just costs so much time on the timer that it doesn't feel good, honestly. And then there's a couple of second delay on top of that, between choosing the celebration on that D-pad and actually seeing it kick in to build your stamina back up. This is a good idea, implemented horribly. So what gameplay here is going to keep you coming back today? I don't know, honestly. We have quick mode where you can select difficulty and jump into varying courses. Multiplayer where you take it in turns for the best possible time, up to 4 players. Great torture for a group of friends if that's your thing. Career mode where you have training options to improve stats between events. Each career you get 5 years or 5 attempts to reach number 1. And then finally a ranked mode, which is online battle, essentially taking it in turns on a leaderboard. At least they try to do something here online with that last option, but it's definitely not enough. Finally, to keep you coming back though, we have accessories and we have character creation options, like new hair, outfits, glasses. What more could you ask for? Exciting stuff. This might also be the most lackluster character creation I've seen in some time, from the limited 20 names you can choose from, the 15 hometowns instead of just including every state. Live in Arizona like me? Screw you, it's not good enough to be included here. But Texas gets like 4 options for some reason. Logic, why not just include all the states? The rest of the character creation from there is, like the rest of the game to be honest, a disaster with some of the worst model design I've ever seen. Just take a look for yourself here. Finally, did I mention the crashes I experienced? On 3 separate occasions, this game froze on me. It stuck on the presenters or on in-game options where I had to exit. No menu access, so I had to actually go back to the Switch home screen, try loading something else to force close this one, and then reload it back up. On the 3rd attempt, honestly, I gave up on this absolute piece of shit. What an absolute waste of my life. What a waste of yours this will be. Finally, audio, let's just quickly touch on it. This will be quick. It's, again, embarrassing. We have the looped theme music, obviously kicking in. The characters, they have 0 sound effects, no grunts or bodies hitting objects, you know, nothing which would be an obvious inclusion, and very few environmental sounds. The padding under your feet makes no sound. The obstacles make minimal sounds, but for some reason only in major events. Not in training, they're silent. I don't get it. What is happening with this game? Why is it only included in some modes? It's a sound effect attached to an obstacle. At least we have looping commentary tracks. This seems like such high quality when you compare it to the rest of the package. Oh, and the crowds of course cheer. They got something in here. Good work team, you did it. Let's just ship this one. They just released this one as a cash-in. I'm gonna say it there. This is the worst game I've played on my Switch, hands down. A train wreck of ideas and broken design. This quite frankly makes Troll and I seem like a modern masterpiece. I have that on my shelf at least. This I would sell, but I'm not that cruel to share it with the rest of the world. I'm going to use it on like a wobbly chair or something in the future when that situation comes to me. If you hate someone or you want to see them in pain, go buy them this title. I promise you this thing is simply put torture. Today I'm awarding this game, and I have no shame about this, if you can even call it a game honestly, a 1 out of 10. They should be ashamed to be putting a package like this out to the world just to cash in on the fans of the show. They have more expectations than this piece of trash. Whatever you do, don't buy this one unless you really are feeling like torturing yourself, and definitely don't play the $39.99. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all on the next video.